so glad that I went to high school before social media was a thing. Hello, my name is Kat, and today I'm doing a reading vlog. So this video is being sponsored by Disney Books to celebrate the release of The Rumor Game by Danielle Clayton and Sonatar Portra. This is the BOOKSPLOSION Book of the Month pick for March, and March is almost over, so it's time to get to reading. It is a standalone contemporary that takes place at an elite private academy and follows three girls whose lives and reputations get tangled up in this rumor gone awry. So that's first up on the TBR. This is one that I'm definitely going to be reading today. As for what else I'm going to be reading for this vlog, I'm a little undecided. There are two very different directions that I'm debating between. I might continue with the academia theme and pick up The Atlas 6, or If We Were Villains. Two books I am very eager to read. Or I'm gonna go in like the complete opposite direction and pick up a rom-com. If you watched my last book haul, then you know that I just bought like a ton of romance books. So I have plenty of options to choose from. And I guess not all of these are actually rom-coms, like some are just roms. It's actually a bit of a pet peeve of mine when people use rom-com and romance interchangeably. Like, not every contemporary romance is a rom-com. But I digress. I am very much a mood reader, so I'm gonna read this one, and then from there we'll see which direction my little reader heart takes me. Hi! Okay, so I am about 150 pages into The Rumor Game, so I feel a little bit better equipped to talk about this book now. It took me a little bit to feel settled in the story because we do have quite a large cast of characters. You know, there are 3 point of view characters, so we have to learn them and also the relationship dynamics between the 3 of them. And then there are several other major players that are involved in what's going down and just in our characters' lives in general. There are other friends, boyfriends, ex-boyfriends, parents, and it hasn't been overwhelming or difficult to follow at all. It's just there's a lot going on, so it took me a minute to like get a good grasp of like the situation at hand. So the basic idea of this book is that we are following this rumor that gets out of control. There are 3 main characters, and this rumor is mostly between one of them and the boyfriend of another one of them. And before I started this book, I thought it was going to be a mystery of like what really happened between these 2 characters, but we actually get to see what happens between them in like chapter 2. So we know the truth about like what really happened. So it gives us, the readers, a really interesting perspective. Like, we see these rumors get out of control and we sort of feel helpless to it, much like the characters do. Like, we're really along for the ride with them in that sense. You know, feeling the frustration and the helplessness, and also that little flicker of doubt. Like, did something actually happen though? Like, how can these rumors be picking up so much speed if they're based on nothing? Is there more going on here? Is someone here an unreliable narrator and like hiding the truth from us? And all of that just puts me in a position where I am hooked. Like, I am so invested. One benefit to the large cast of characters is that the scope of this story feels rather grand, and like there are so many directions that we could go in. There's also another mystery element and like a what really happened question surrounding the 3rd main character, who isn't like directly involved in this current rumor, but she had something scandalous happen over the summer and her reputation is currently at an all-time low. And because we don't actually see that event, there are a lot more questions and mystery surrounding that of like, what really happened? Is this another situation where the rumors are just out of control, or are the rumors true and this character is just kind of like downplaying things to us? I don't know, but I cannot wait to find out. In fact, I'm gonna stop talking to you so I can go do just that. Whew, okay, I am done with The Rumor Game. What a wild ride. Now, I'm not gonna say too much because I want to avoid spoilers in this video, and there will be a spoilery discussion on the BOOKSPLOSION channel on Saturday, April 2nd. More info about that below. But for now, I will say that I really enjoyed this, even though it did stress me out quite a lot. It was super compelling and well written, and like some elements in particular were so cleverly handled. And while I was able to kind of predict a couple of things, a lot of my theories were completely wrong, and some of how this played out was very surprising. It definitely gave me some Gossip Girl vibes, but with, I feel, a more serious tone. Like, we deal with some pretty serious subject matter. There's a content warning in the beginning of the book, so I definitely suggest checking that out before you pick it up. And even though some things are like very dramatic, I feel like the serious subject matter wasn't played just for drama. Like, I feel like it was handled in a way that was respectful, and I don't know, it just felt more grounded in reality than something like Gossip Girl. Though to be fair, it has been a good like 15 years since I read the Gossip Girl series, so that comparison isn't super fresh in my brain. Speaking of things that happened 15 years ago, I am so glad that I went to high school before social media was a thing. I mean, social media was like just beginning to be a thing when I was in high school. There was definitely some drama involving MySpace top 8 rankings, but for the most part, I didn't have to worry about social media being like an ever-present thing in my life. So it was really interesting and more than a little terrifying to see how it played out in this book and how it affected the lives of our main characters. I really liked how the story was told in that most of it is written like a traditional novel, but there are these sort of like modern epistolary segments where we get to see like text messages and comments on pictures and things like that. Being able to read these comments and messages really immersed me in this like social media network, and it just had me completely hooked. I would recommend this book to people who enjoy twisty contemporary stories with like thriller and mystery vibes without a murder mystery. Also, something that I mentioned in my book haul, if you like historical or fantasy novels that have a focus on like court politics, I would say books like this are kind of the modern equivalent. You know, like the social politics and the importance of reputation. And, you know, sometimes the truth doesn't matter as much as the story that people believe. But yeah, this was a really good read. It was really interesting, and the storytelling was so smart. There's one thing in particular that I can't get into because of spoilers, but I think it was just like a brilliant twist of storytelling, and I can't wait to talk about it more in the live show. Anyways, after the stress of that book, I have decided that I need a rom-com next. I can't read another dramatic thriller immediately following that. My heart can't take it. I need something a little bit lighter to balance it out. So I think I'm gonna start All the Feels by Olivia Dade. This is the sequel/companion to Spoiler Alert, which I read last year and really enjoyed. I love stories about writers, and what's really great about this series in particular is that they are fanfic writers. Like, I know some people just can't suspend their disbelief and buy into the fact that these famous actors have secret online identities where they write fanfic. Like, I know it's a little ridiculous, but I love it. I believe it. Like, wasn't it all but confirmed that Misha Collins has an AO3 account? Like, he's very aware of the supernatural fanfic scene. Is it that much of a stretch to think that he might read or maybe possibly write some? I'm not saying that he secretly writes Destiel fanfic, but I'm not saying that. Anyways, I really liked Spoiler Alert. The two main characters hit it off pretty early, so their romance is pretty sweet, which I liked, but I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to reading this one where the characters start off with more of an antagonistic relationship. One of our main characters here is an actor who keeps getting involved in scandals, so he's kind of assigned a handler/assistant whose job is to keep him in line. So I'm anticipating some like bickering and headbutting in addition to the fanfic and celebrity shenanigans. Let's get to reading. So it is much later in the evening now. I took a bit of a break, made some dinner, which I didn't film because like, who would want to watch me cook? Anyways, I have made it to the halfway point of all the feels. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like I made a good choice picking this up. It's exactly what I needed to balance out like the more serious page turner that was the rumor game. I really like our two main characters here. Alex and Lauren are both very fun. I'm really enjoying the drama surrounding Alex's secret career as a fanfic author. It's good stuff. I wasn't initially sure if this was more of a sequel or a companion, and now that I'm halfway through, I'm still kind of like, which is it? Because it's pretty much both. Like, we are following two new main characters, but everything is rather connected. In spoiler alert, there's this big climactic moment that involves Alex. But because that book isn't Alex's story, we don't get to see the fallout or the resolution following that big climactic moment. And I kind of thought that this book was gonna pick up like right where we left off, but that's actually not the case. The climactic finale moment of spoiler alert is actually the midpoint of this book. So the first half of this book takes place during the events of spoiler alert. We're just following different characters, which is an interesting way of doing a companion novel. Like, I don't know if I've seen that before, or if I have, it's just not like immediately coming to mind. I feel like most of the time companion novels are still sequential, not concurrent, which is kind of what's going on here. Although this book is like concurrent and sequential all in one. But yeah, I'm about halfway through now. I've reached the point of this book where the rest of it is purely uncharted territory. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen from here, but that's gonna have to wait until tomorrow. Between these two books, I managed to read a little over 700 pages, which I am quite happy with. My goal today was just to read a lot. I wasn't trying to push myself to the point of burnout. I just wanted to make a dent in my TBR, and I feel like I did that, so I'm calling it a success, even if I didn't quite finish the second book. But yeah, that is gonna do it. I'm gonna call it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear from y'all in the comments if you have read either of these books. What were your thoughts? Did you have to deal with social media during high school, and was it horrifying? Do you think Misha Collins secretly writes Destiel fanfic? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that is gonna do it for this video today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will have another video up soon. So I will see you then. Bye!